for this segment, another thing that I got examples of a few protests from the past decade or so, which, I mean, in Canada, I don't know. I mean, everywhere the governments overreact to protests, but perhaps in Canada, people would have this image that they wouldn't. But the fact that they reacted in this way and that they tried to pass the Emergency Act and everything really didn't surprise me. I mean, speaking of like passing a bill, No, not too much. No, not too much, because I mean, I've heard of these incidents. So first, there is what they call the biggest mass arrest in Canadian history. This had to do in 2010 with the G20s. And pretty much the police force has come out and paid like around 16 million, not that much money, in settlement to a few hundred people that were arrested during that time. Because during the G20 protest,
injured or died?
I believe injured, but no, nobody died apparently, thankfully. But this was in 2010 in Toronto. They came and encircled 1,000 protesters right there, just like encircled 1,000 of them, and arrested all of them. So they were wrongfully detained and they had to pay. So that was a big example of, in Canada, the police overreacting. Check out this one. This one is even more parallels, perhaps. Montreal student protests in why did I write 2018 here? I believe it was in 2012. So they were going to increase the tuition fees for university students by about 50 to 75%. And there were huge protests in the streets. School had to close, the universities. And in Quebec, the Quebec government at first, and then it was revoked, I believe, passed a bill. They passed Bill 78, so very similar. And Bill 78, what it did is an act to enable students to receive instruction from the post-secondary institutions they attend, and restricts freedom of assembly, protest, and picketing on or near university grounds and anywhere in Quebec without prior police approval. So even the UN High Commissioner had to, voice his concerns about this back then, saying, in the contents of student protests, I'm disappointed by the new legislation passed in Canada. So especially this version, I feel like has such parallels where they quickly passed like a bill where there's an emergency act in order to shut people up. Yes, I believe they revoked it. And the protests happened to be successful because the tuition fees didn't increase. And then I also got one or two small examples where, like, for example, in 2016, on the very first day of a peaceful demonstration in Toronto, participants of the Black Lives Movement were beaten and gassed by the police. 4 years later, in Ottawa, protest at a key intersection advocating for Black and Indigenous lives resulted in 12 people being charged and the protest being removed within 3 days. So just like governments around the world, I guess my point is that the Canadian government might have this image of being goody two-shoes or something, but when it comes to protests, they're always, whether it happens at a local level or federally, they're very quick to crack down.
I mean, look, I never thought Canadian government would be better or worse than any other. But I think there was a couple of things that was shocking to me coming from anyone. One was the guy talked about like the indigenous people. Like he said, there was a case in which a child of a woman was taken away from her because the nurse suspected that she might neglect the child.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No evidence based. I was like, what the like? That's like that feels like that Canada or Japan or I don't know anywhere. That feels like Middle Ages type of thing. Then you also had Justin Trudeau saying, nation has to make a choice and we have to make a choice to live with these people or not live with these people. Yeah. I mean, you know who you are. You are somebody who used to do blackface, right? Yeah. On a number of occasions. You're calling other people, like most Canadians must tolerate you, piece of shit.
You know who Trudeau is? Yeah, tell me if this is wrong.
Son of a professor.
Oh, no. The son of like the biggest prime minister in Canadian history.
His nickname was the professor because of the pipe.
Okay, see. But that's not what I was referring to. I want to say, Trudeau the closest thing to Obama? I mean, he is 100% from that exact thing. He is Obama. Yeah. He's a white Canadian Obama.
I say he's a slightly better than Obama. I would say he's tiny bit more. He has more policy stuff going on.
I mean, that's how it started. But I mean, we covered the election where he barely won his own snap election that he thought that he called on at the
Yeah,
right
it's
time.
got fucked up.
He barely won, and his opposition,
can you tell me one thing Obama did?
The Iran nuclear deal. And I mean, of course, after the financial crisis, he passed after the 2008 financial crisis. Exactly. He passed legislation
Those
stuff
are
that
not
was
things he did.
horrible, that were pointless and useless and even
no,
make things worse.
Really,
but Trudeau as well, that's the thing. He came in with the big climate change promise and this and that, and people can ask all the same questions.
Okay, I haven't looked into Trudeau, but Obama, in my view, was the do nothing. Like, I've never seen a world leader to be this level of do nothing. Like, literally did nothing. Had meetings with other people, with beers. Like, thank you, President. Sorry.
He fortified the status quo with all of that.
No. He did destroy Libya. You're right. He did destroy Syria. Yeah, no, he did some shit, but yeah. Anyways, Obama was just in terms of domestically was such a do nothing president.
100%.
Kind of like Trump, preferred to play golf. Yeah.
But yeah, and then of course you were talking about how indigenous people were treated in Canada. I mean, indigenous people, the way that they're treated in Canada, the worst of the worst happened to them. And they probably also discriminated by all these kind of social policies as well. We've covered the schools back in the day that they were sent to and everything.
Yeah.
But Trudeau is such an Obama. And I mean, and now it's done. He came in in such a strategic, well-timed, right? Because prior to him, there was, of course, the conservative politician, Harper,
Harper,
who was so hated by everyone. So he was just perfect. He came in perfect situation with the Obama era, with the Obama style climate change. Then they went to COP 2020, the Paris climate one, COP, whatever it was called, and made the big thing. Put that whole image and stuff, and then of course not much really happened on the climate change front as well.
My whole ladies above 40s that I know, they are all in love with him. It's just he's the most popular among ladies.
My mom too, she's like, no, but Trudeau is good, right? Same. And I mean, let her have that one. I'm like,
okay, yeah. There is no point in arguing, so why? Yeah, exactly. But he's a creep. By the way, he didn't even do blackface. I feel like as Iranian or Middle Eastern, he did brown face. He dressed up as Alibaba from stuff. Fucking, I mean, these asshole idiots are running countries. Jesus Christ.
I mean, he has no experience. He was I believe he was a kindergarten teacher, or he was a high school teacher. Was he a drama teacher?
I don't know. He went to that Great Reset thingy, didn't he? That we're gonna talk about later. Young leadership, whatever.
But I feel like everyone and anyone goes to that. I mean, they had like 1,400 members. So yeah, it's not surprising.
But 1,400 that all became cabinet members.
But I mean, who else would go there?
No. It's an incestuous pool of It just goes back and forth.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
That's his experience. I mean, but you do know that. I said he's the son of the Canadian Prime Minister, but there are also you've heard the rumors, right?
What?
There's this rumor going around that he's the son of Fidel Castro. You didn't know that? That apparently the professor got cucked by Fidel Castro or something. I don't know where does the rumor come from, but yeah, there's this thing going around that he's the son of Fidel Castro. Didn't you?
Never heard
a joke that everybody says that he's the son of a Cuban revolutionary leader.
I've never heard that one. That's funny. But no, and he's been in power for a while now. And now I think about it, it's been since 2015.
Parliamentary system, you tend to stay in power long.
I can proudly say I didn't vote for him, but
nice.
I would have voted for him. But because in Quebec, I know that he wins. So I just voted for the further left person because it wouldn't have made a difference. But if not, I might have, fallen for the lesser of the two evil kind of shit back in the day.